Radio Rahim with Frank Warren. It seems like we were just here yesterday. In a different country. We're in Egypt now.
Egypt there, and you're in Athens, just over there.
It's brilliant, the stage they've set, but to be fair, none of this is quite as magnificent for me as the boxing stage that has been set here now 2 times out, even this year. Oh, jeez, 3 times out, really. I was here even in February. So for you, last time, Warren, I was talking to Aram, and he says, I don't have to be nervous. I don't have to do anything on the night. I just sit there. But boy, with a card like this and so many things hanging in the balance that could potentially happen if this goes the way that so-called A-sides wanted to go, are there any fights on the card here that make you nervous come Saturday night?
Yeah, I mean, look, I love Joe Parker and I like Deontay, and that's a cracking fight. Anything can happen. He's had 1 fight in 2 years. He's in a very good place at the moment. I'm talking to Deontay. He's only had 1 fight, and it lasted a round against Elenius. He's coming up with a good win, Joe Parker, last time out, and he looked good doing it. He's Tyson's mate, he's his sparring partner, so that you can imagine what's got the talk between the two of them, what, the weaknesses that Tyson say that he might be able to exploit. And then you're looking at AJ, who's also former world champion, as we know. I think between him and Deontay, they've probably held the title between them for well over 10 years. But they're both now down the pecking order, and the only way they can get back up there to maybe get a shot at the winner of the fight on the 17th of February next year between Tyson and Usyk is to win their respective fights and then fight each other to get the winner of that, to get the right to fight the number 1 heavyweight in the world. So there's a lot of pressure on them, and there's a lot of ifs and buts, and there's lots of scenarios there. It's going to be quite interesting. And I think the 2 challengers themselves look at it and think to themselves, if we can create an upset here, we're going to be in that position. The next big show here, we'll be on the next big show here. So it's really interesting times. And for a boxing fan, it doesn't get any better than that. All their careers are on the line. This is very appropriately named this, the Day of Reckoning. It is a day of reckoning.
With all of these different fighters and their respective promoters before they reach Saudi, it appears that it's a bit of a day of reckoning for you as well. This is a Queensberry operation. That's who we had to go through to set this thing up. Is that
it's Seller and Queensberry work together on this in association with other promoters to make the fights happen. But all the organisation side is put together by Seller and Queensberry.
USA. So this is your card to promote.
Yeah, it's our card to promote. Yeah, between us, it's our card to promote. But all I look at this, I don't need an ego trip. It's a privilege for me to be here, to be involved in this. I love it. We got a good team. We do things in a different way. We're not always out there blowing our own trumpet and so forth. We're here doing what we do and being involved and making these great events happen. And there'll be even more bigger events next year.
Frank, I look back at the big table here, the first supper, let's call it, not the last, and everyone sat around the table. Where is Frank Warren? I even see Eddie Hearn at the table. What's happening?
I didn't have a suit that day. Is he on the table? But what they're all looking up, they're looking up from this table saying, am I going to be involved in these big fights next year? Am I going to come through this? That's what they're looking at.
You know what? Right now, they're actually all looking up at you, Frank.
They're wondering if I'll take my makeup off yet.
These showdowns are magnificent. Everyone is looking forward to these fights. But the story between you and Eddie has gone on for over a decade. So many years, so many things, barbs back and forth. When you meet face to face, when you have a moment in front of the cameras, is the hand going to be extended? Are we looking at kumbaya? Yeah, but it's fight week now. You know what I mean? The tension's running high. All the fighters are here.
Fight week is fight week.
That's what I'm saying.
We're going to have a fight. We'll have a bit of fun. Yeah.
All right,
I'm sure we will.
We'll call this the swing bout. Radio Rahim with Frank Ward.
Swingers bout.
Oh boy. Thanks, Frank. We'll see you all week. Always a pleasure. I'll give a quick photo, real quick.
Sure. This is a recipe. This is like cooking a favorite
Perfect.
meal.
Thank you, sir.